You're an intergalactic dwarf working a company that sends you danger excavation search for whatever the fuck this guy demands to get. Now I'ma give every single reason why you should consider me taking this job, of which I spent more than 150 hours in it. So sit your damn ass on the time chairs of yours and prepare yourself, cause today, we're gonna fucking rock and stone, brother. Getting yourself to the most insane mind experience as an intergalactic dwarf, where you'll be constantly receiving orders from a motherfucker sedentary lazy captain who doesn't have the courage to put himself to the most dangerous adventures, while you have to face incredible waves of spiders, centipedes, robots and scorpions which annoyingly keep pushing you, not letting you properly finish the excavation to finally drink some good beer at the bar of the most sympathetic robot in the universe. Is the most shallow description I could give you about this absolutely amazing and addictive game. That's why I'm gonna deeply dive into every single great aspect of the game, make you leave this video with an uncontrollable urge of becoming a miner yourself, and I guarantee you won't regret it, brother. So you better already leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you want more videos like this. When it comes to this type of games, the hub is probably one of the most important parts of it, since it's basically the place you'll be spending a lot of time in waiting for the bastard friends of yours who's taking more than a fucking hour to finally finish his meal. So the hub have the task to keep engaged and comfortable while waiting for him. Here you're gonna find everything that you need to enjoy the company of your friends, or if you are a lone wolf, the company of yourself. Like in the hub, you can pretty much explore every single inch of it, always getting yourself amused by the little details the developers had the work to put in the game, showing you the deep passion they have for their creation. For example, you can play basketball, which is more of a basket barrel, and be always trying to score the highest points in the galaxy. And if you get tired of it, just throw yourself in the basket, which will guarantee you a free entrance to the medical room. Now, if you're by some reason the type of guy who likes arcade and was an annoying kid back in 2013 trying to become the best Flappy Bird player at school, you don't need to worry about that too, brother, because here in the hub we have an arcade made specifically for that wish of yours, but instead of a bird, it's a fucking boot, so it's Flappy Boots. And what's that? You telling me that you like to explore details? Don't worry about that, brother, because at the hub every single detail is present, from the little vents getting infested by the galactic parasites to a refrigerator of which is locked and telling you not to touch it, are only a little mention of the amount of details this station have. Like once you get hooked on the game, you can probably create your own theories about what the fuck this is and try to guess what is about to come on the next seasons of the game. And I know for sure that a lot of your fat ass just like some parties, of which is not a problem. Also, you can dance your favorite genre at the dancing floor and drink every type of beer provided by our beloved bartender Lloyd, who can offer beers that put you out of the ship, turn into an explosive dwarf machine, or even make the game become a fucking proper hunt. I mean, what the hell, bro? You have a proper hunt in this game, bro. Now, I must warn you that drinking too much is another way that you can get a free pass to the medical room, so be careful about that. Although the medical room also contains its own details, which is something amazing. And this whole shipping hub is just like an amusement park that can get you entertained for hours with an anti-gravity switch, the broken physics of the barrels, your own room which contains the deepest lore of the planet that you're about to go in for a mission, and the creature that resides on the planet. And this ship is just simply amazing. It contains a lot of things that the developers had the work to put in the game despite not being necessary. But I'm gonna be honest here that my favorite part of it all is the Sacred Memorial Hall, the place where half my playtime was based on. The Memorial Hall presents you game aesthetics and these beautiful statues that you get by max leveling each type of dwarf. And right at the moment that one of my friends showed me his Memorial Hall with these golden statues, I knew that I needed to have it for my own good and collection. Alright, but now forget about the hub, because now it's time to show you why you're here. So before putting yourself to the dangerous cave of this planet, first you need to choose your favorite dwarf between these four fella here. Each dwarf have four types of weapons: the primary damage weapon, the secondary damage weapon, the utility weapon, and the movement weapon, with the primary and the secondary weapons having 3 variants each. And you have almost infinite amount of playstyle for every type of person in this planet. It started by the worst dwarf, for me at least, the Scout, made for absolute pussies who doesn't have the courage to properly face the enemies, always running away with their grappling gun, trying to feel like like Batman, but instead of going fist to fist against the enemies, they always run away like pussies. With the scout you have weapons like an assault rifle, decent but not my favorite. The sniper rifle probably the best weapon of the scout. You can be far away with it, dealing a great amount of damage, or a plasma rifle, which honestly I don't know how you deal damage with this shit, bro. And as for the secondary, you have a shotgun, the best weapon, the closest option to feel like Batman. Tracer's gun, I don't need to say anything about it, it's literally Tracer's gun, but remember that this game is better than Overwatch. And a cover which can be used to draw signs on the caves. Now for the utility gun, you have a flare gun, which is incredible how every single scout I met this fucking game doesn't know how to use that shit properly. This is fucking useful since the caves are dark as hell, and you'll be constantly wondering yourself why the fuck this game is so dark. And for the movement gun, you have the grappling gun to make you feel like Batman, but just like I said, instead of fighting the enemies fist to fist, you'll probably flee combat like a pussy. The engineer always rely on his turret. In my opinion, the engineer probably has the worst primary guns of the game, with a combat shotgun that for God's sake it does not deal any fucking damage. I don't know how to use this shit. An SMG which feels like the best gun for the engineer, and a shitty assault rifle that locks in the enemy and shoots automatically. I mean honestly, worst weapon of the entire game. It takes forever to fucking lock in the enemies with this weapon. The damage is not that great at all, and the overclocks, which is something that I'll be explaining later, are the worst in this weapon. Now in counterpart for the secondary, engineer has probably the best secondary weapons of the entire game, of which prioritize burst damage. The first being a launch grenade, it literally does what its name describes, and it's awesome. Breach cutter which shoots laser line that melt the spiders, and shard diffractator that also melt enemies like crazy. Now for the utility weapon, engineer put his turret to shoot enemies automatically with the only need of being reloaded. And for the move gun is a pancake gun, I like to call it that way. It helps you escalate high ground, build bridges, or make platform to fill up the holes around the scenario. Now the gunner, made for the most masculine macho players present on DRG, with the only sole purpose of enemies obliteration, have the heaviest weapons of the galaxy. As for the first one, a damn minigun. This shit shoots like crazy and can only be stopped by its own overheat. For the second, you have a powerful cannon to burst even the most tanky spiders on the planet. And for the third weapon, a rocket launcher, which is not really my favorite, but it's cool since the rockets are completely guidable following your directions. Now for the secondary, you find every type of pistol, a powerful revolver, a burst pistol, and a charged pistol that creates tiny holes on the scenario, completely useful to kill faster fleas. Now for the utility gun, the gunner has a shield field that repels the spider and save many lives. I mean, you're gonna use this a lot to save your allies. And for the movement weapon, the gunner has the worst fucking movement weapon of the entire game, a zip line. And when I say it's the worst, it doesn't mean it's not useful. You will probably use this a lot, but come on, your speed and the zip line is fucking ridiculous. Not mention that every time the Mech Terra appears, they always manage to make you fall. Now for the last, but the best, the driller, the ultimate Giga Shed dwarf ever made. With the driller, you don't need to follow the path to the resources, cause you create your own fucking path. Your weapons are synonym for spider melting. You literally melt the spiders. So if you consider yourself a Giga Shed with a monster sharpened jawline, driller is entirely made for you. His primary weapons are awesome, with a baby flamethrower, absolutely useful to kill waves of the spiders, an amazing cryo cannon. I mean, freezing the fucking enemies that hit them with your fucking drill is one of the best feeling that you can find in this game. And then the best weapon, a corrosive sludge pump. You throw acid at the enemies that completely melt them. Now for the secondary, I have to be honest that even the most amazing characters has their own flaw. So you have a normal pistol. I mean, it's a normal pistol, nothing special here. Probably the best secondary, a plasma charge pistol. You can literally use it to create creatures on the scenario. And the wavy cooker that has an amazing range and cook the enemies, but overheats pretty fast. So I mean, not my favorite. Now for the utility, driller on himself a C4 to make your excavation easier, and for the movement, a fucking power drill to create your own way. And also each dwarf has their own type of grenades and a massive perk skill tree for you to create your own build as you wish. But now that you picked your fucking dwarf, it's time to get your assignment and make your way to the expedition miner. Okay, once in the planet you can come across with 10 different types of biomes, with each one have their own environment phenomenon. So let me introduce you every biome in the game. Crystalline caverns is literally what its name says. Sometimes you can find some electrical crystal that are kinda annoying and also indestructible. Salt pits is just like the previous biome, but instead of blue crystal you have red crystal, and personally I think it's beautiful. And also not much danger can be found except for its stalactites. Fungus bogs look like an underground swamp with pools of ghouls that slows you. Radioactive exclusion zone is an area that contains volatile uranium, extremely radioactive, not letting you approach without taking damage, although you can destroy the crystal, ending with the radiation. Dense biozone is like an underground dark forest with annoying plants, and I mean annoying plants. I died so many times for this plant, you have no fucking idea. Glacial strata is the second most beautiful biome for me, with the first one being salt pits. It is completely frozen with snow piles that doesn't let you run on it, and a chance of blizzard. Hollow Buff is a cave full of brambles and these giant plant claws that I hate deeply. Azure Wild, another beautiful biome full of luminescent plants. Magma Core, a volcanical biome with explosive plants, lava geysers, and constant earthquakes. One of the hardest biomes to be in, honestly. And for the last we have Sandblast Corridors, an underground desert. Something that I love about this biome is that you can basically break any wall with one pickaxe hit. Also occasionally sandstorm can occur on it, and it's pretty much annoying. Now once you're in a cave, you'll be in constant danger, miner, since a lot of bugs will often give you a challenge. Normally what you see the most are the glyphids. This is a spider which will be constantly hunting you, and you have to deal with its variants such as baby spiders born in this giant tumor, and I hate this baby spider, such a pain in the ass if you're not with driller or someone that gives an area damage. Exploders, its name describes what it does. Web shooter, acid shooters, they're both equally weak, so you just need to find them before they shoot you. A spider with claws, a spider with shield, and spiders with giant red sacks that also shoots whatever the fuck this is. Blue spider that act like a turret and cowardly hides once you spot them. Mind flares spiders, I don't know why, but I just called them that. Praetorians, basically a giant spider which its type varies depending on the biomes you're in. A better version of the Praetorians, the oppressors, they can only be damaged from the back. The miner's biggest fears, the bulk detonator, you cannot in any circumstance approach them when you're above hazard 4 difficulty, and once killed, they become a fucking nuclear bomb. Also, if you're lucky enough, you can start an expedition with the gold version of it, which after exploding will turn its surrounding to gold, make you spend minutes of your life collecting the gold unless you're a Giga Shadow and play with driller. And the one that I hate the most, the scorpions. Just like I said in the beginning, this motherfucker keeps pushing you, not letting you finish the excavation, not letting you revive your allies, not letting you take the resupply. They're just fucking annoying and they should not exist. But here you'll not only fight the Arachnids, you'll deal with other things like technological threats, rolling centipedes, sand sharks, giant creature that spits balls dealing a lot of damage, Mecteras that are basically flies, and I hate them all, Zeppelins that spawn those annoying pink shit, cave leeches, and be careful with the cave leeches, they always catch you by surprise, and a whole bunch of infested creatures. Now one last advice for your miner: if you see this mineral sack called the Hoarder, kill it at all costs. I mean, it's fucking worth, so kill it at all costs. Now fuck the creatures, you've already understood how they work, let me explain what the hell you'll be doing in this expedition. As for the missions, you'll face 8 types of expedition with primary objective for your goal and a secondary objective for extra rewards. The difficulty will vary according to the hazard you choose, going from the easiest hazard 1 to the hardest hazard 5, which increase the reward by 133%. Hard but worth it, I must say. But that's not the only thing that can make your expedition harder, cause you still have features such as the cave complexity and modifiers that can alter between a good modifier or a bad modifier, like Little Fish, which adds another primary objective to the mission, or Helium Gas, which makes your character run fast as fuck, boy. And everything is meant to make your playthrough more interesting. Now to explain the mission types, I'm gonna start from a least favorite, proceeding to the best type in my opinion. Mine expedition is the worst type of mission. Here you miner will have to mine a certain amount of morkite, this blue mineral you look at the screen. It is the worst because the cave can get way bigger than normal. You probably have to walk a lot to finally finish the expedition, and the way back can be extremely painful since when you complete your main objective, you still have to wait for the mule to return to the drop pod. If you don't know what the fuck is the mule, it's the robot hut which stores your minerals in. And the only players happy in these situations are the pussy scout players. Egg hunt. Your primary objective here is to collect monster eggs found inside the nest spread across the cave. This type of mission is boring as hell. You have to be constantly accessing your map to know its location, and every fucking time you collect an egg there's a chance to start a wave of enemies. A good mission for drillers since they can mine faster with their power drill. Salvage operation. Here a group of miners died during their expedition, so you have to find their mules, then restore the power of their drop pod to finally return back to the ship. Honestly, the worst part of this mission is when you have to repair the mule where you gotta find their legs and put it back in. But the afterwards is not so bad since you have to stay inside an area killing a lot of bugs while you charge this bar on the top. A good mission for every type of dwarf since each one of them can be useful in their own way. Point extraction. No mules will be present on this mission. Instead you have a giant mining platform on the map, and you miner will have to find these blue minerals called quartz. After finding, you have to put every single mineral into the mining platform, and the problem of this mission is generally the position of the quartz, of which sometimes its position can be pretty much fucked up and be found on the cave ceiling, making it almost impossible to collect without an engineer's pancake and a scout to grappling hook himself into the pancake. The driller will also be useful in this mission with their power drills. Now for my favorite mission, starting for the least favorite, elimination. You basically have to find giant eggs on the cave which by shooting at it will spawn one of 3 types of dreadnought, basically a giant boss spiders. The easiest one is the glyphed dreadnought. Take damage only from behind, you just need to shoot at it without thinking too much. Next we have the twins, 2 giant spiders that share its health with each other. You have to think before trying to waste all your bullets on only one of them, since they share the health bar and will use it to regenerate the health. And for the hardest, in my opinion, we have the hive guard. It spawns minions to be killed, then you have to destroy 3 people on its body to finally deal some proper damage, which also can only be dealt from behind. And for this type of mission, the gunner shines beautifully. On site refining, a central refinery platform will land on the cave, and you miner will have to connect 3 pipelines into 3 pump jacks across the cave. Once connected, you have to wait the refinery to be completed, but issues will occur during this time, and when it does, you have to fix all the pipeline. Now the only reason why I love this mission is because you can basically surf on the pipelines, being possible for you to create your own roller coaster miner, and the best dwarf here is the driller since he can create his own pathways to the pump jacks. In second, we have industrial sabotage. A giant upside down pyramid called the caretaker will be found in the cave, and you have to access its data. But first you need to disable its shield, so follow the wires until the power station, hack both of it to destroy the shield, then activate the caretaker, which obviously will not let you pass, make you have to fight in an amazing boss fight. Once completed, retrieve the data rack and complete the mission, and every dwarf can be going their own way here. Just don't use flamethrowers or cryo cannon with the driller. And now my favorite mission, escort duty. Here miner, your duty is to escort a large drill dozer until a giant hard stone. In the midway, the drill dozer will need to be refueled, and you have to keep it intact as the bugs will try to destroy it at all costs. Once in the hard stone, you start the drilling to the core, having to face 4 waves of bugs while the drill dozer penetrates the stone. And here, every fucking dwarf is necessary. As for the second wave, flying stone will try to destroy the drill dozer, so engineers can create a pancake umbrella to stop the stones. The driller is the best dwarf for area DPS weapons. The gunner will be needed on the 4th wave to destroy laser rocks from damage the drill dozer, and the scout is the fucking scout, Now you'll be probably wondering why the hell should I be committing myself to those expeditions? What will I get in return? Do not worry about that, brother, cause here I will inform you about your salary and everything you'll be paid for the work you're providing us. When completing a mission, you'll be rewarded with credit, the most important currency used in the game. Everything requires credit, perks, mineral weapons, and beer, so you better keep your wallet full of it. You'll also be receiving the minerals you gather throughout the excavation. This mineral will be used to buy every single perk weapon, skins, and the overclocks, which I'll be explaining later. This mineral becomes scarce very often, so I'm gonna already advise you to collect every single mineral you find in your expeditions, with the most used one from my experience being Magnite, Enerpearl, and Jadis. But do not fool yourself, miner, cause you're gonna use all of it. Also, the expeditions are made to complete the assignment, which you have a lot of in the early game. Assignments are meant to give you a big reward by completing all of the Asked expedition. It's basically a campaign, and the most important thing that you get by completing the excavation is experience. With experience, you'll be leveling up your dwarf, unlocking new weapons, and getting recognition for the galaxy. Since once you achieve the max level of your dwarf at level 25, you can promote him, gaining a rank for that dwarf specifically. It's like God's prestige. or I don't know, ranks in other online games. The rank escalates from bronze to legendary, the highest rank possible. Also, every 3 dwarf level that you earn is 1 profile level for you, and every 10 profile level after 20 until 100 unlocks a prestige assignment with some unique armors and pickaxe customization. Now once you promote your dwarf, which is something very expensive, so make sure that you be saving some credits and minerals, you get a blank matrix core, an overclock, and an overclocked skin. And now you probably wonder, bro, what the fuck is an overclock? Okay, let's finally get to it. Overclock is the reason you keep diving yourself even more into this beautiful game. To acquire an overclock, you can use a blank magic score and an event machine that has a chance to appear in every single expedition you go to. Once you activate the machine, you're gonna have to complete the task it tells you to do. The task can be killing rock spiders, throwing bombs at the machine, gathering these yellow minerals dropped by special spiders, or killing a fucking Banjo-Tooie boss. Then by completing the task, you can insert your blank matrix score in the machine, and it's gonna give you 3 options. 2 are for Rando's weapon overclocks to one of the dwarfs shown on the screen, and 1 is a skin overclock for a random dwarf. Now another way to get overclocks and blank matrix score is by, like I showed before, promoting your dwarf, completing a weekly matrix score assignment, or by completing deep dive. Now what is a deep dive? Deep dive is basically a big expedition with 3 different caves for you to complete. In a deep dive, your minerals and your health will keep the same to all the caves until you finally complete all of it. And one curiosity is that deep dive maps always keep the same with you completing the deep dive or not. What do I mean by that? Well, normally an expedition has a procedurally generated cave. On deep dive's case, the design will always be the same, only changing weekly. But you cannot get the deep dive's reward twice in a week. You have to wait for another week to finally reset your rewards. And in Deep Rock, we have 2 types of deep dive. The normal one going from hazard 3 to 3.5 in difficulty, and the deep dive elite going from hazard to 4.5 to 5.5. Literally the hardest difficult of the entire game. And by completing the first deep dive cave, you get a blank matrix score. The second will reward you with a weapon overclock, and the last will give you a skin overclock. Okay, but what in the hell is an overclock? Alright, miner. Overclocks are weapons modifiers that divides into 3 types. The clean overclock, which gives a small boost to your weapons. The balanced overclock, giving the weapon a good boost, but also not a buffing counterpart. And the best type, the fucking unstable overclock, which completely changes your weapon play styles, and you'll be constantly seeing yourself in a controllable wish of getting more overclocks because of this shit, bro. I mean, the unstable overclock can change your weapon to a melter weapon or a laser fan. It can turn your gun into a fucking turret that deals massive damage but cannot move while shooting, make your gunner's revolver do way more damage, or make your missile launcher become a missile machine gun. Overclocks can turn your cryo cannon into a fucking frost storming machine, your flamethrower into a hell simulator machine, or your sludge pump into an acid carpet creator. It can make your plasma rifle have almost unlimited ammo, or your sniper rifle become a burst electrical rifle. The overclocks can literally turn your game into fucking Fallout with the Fat Boy. And oh my god, I need to say that I almost have all of Engineer's overclock because my one true wish was to get this fucking Fat Boy, and it took me so long, so many promotings, so many deep dives to finally get my beautiful Fat Boy. And I mean, I probably don't have half the overclocks of the game, but it makes me always keep pursuing for more. Overclocks are just fucking amazing, bro. And I haven't even talked about the skin overclocks, which honestly is also one of the reasons why I keep playing this game. Skins. The skins in Deep Rock has so much personality in it, with the skins that are references to other games, historical events, or pop culture characters. I mean, look at these Scorpion skins or the Rainbow skin, and you have so many options when it comes to skin, and they keep adding it to the game through Season Pass, and you'll probably be like, oh my god, another greedy game with Season Pass, and I'll have to answer you this, mate, is fucking free. The Season Pass of this game is completely free. You can progress through it without paying $1 extra to the developers, and if you miss items from the previous passes, you still can purchase them with the game's currencies in this beautiful shop here. Now this game shows so much of the developers' passion about it that you want to help them somehow, and you can do it by buying their DLCs, which are not unique gameplay content, but awesome skins for your dwarfs. I mean, Deep Rock has everything you need and everything the other shitty companies doesn't have the courage to put in their games. Now the only thing that you be probably asking yourself is about the community. I mean, what about the players? Are they toxic? Are there any players that still play this game? Well, miner.
For rock and stone, brother.
The community in Deep Rock honestly is one of the best community I've ever seen in my entire life. People here are extremely respectful in the matches. Not so much words are needed to be said during the excavation as you acquire the special language as you play the game. And I'm fucking mean it, you acquire a special language where you don't need to say a word on the excavations. And unlikely Fallout fanbase, which honestly is one of the worst fanbase I've ever seen in my entire life, here every player becomes friendly with the probably most important button in the game, which is not the shoot button or the walk button, minor, but it's this button right here.
Rock and stone!
Rock and stone!
Two simple fucking words that somehow has so many meanings, and I don't even know why, but while playing Deep Rock Galactic, you'll be feeling like saying rock and stone to express everything that you're feeling. And it's incredible how Deep Rock's community became somehow very similar to the Dark Souls community. What do I mean by that? I mean the fact that the developer never defined the rules of how to play the game, but the community managed to create their own rules. Like every time you meet someone online, you have to rock and stone. It's a fucking Deep Rock's commandment. Also, when you find a chunk of gold, everyone has to ping on it, insinuating that you're rich. And my favorite rule of all, the ultimate mandatory commandment: leave no dwarf behind. It doesn't matter if the dropper is about to leave, if everyone is dead but you leave no dwarf behind. I mean, one of my favorite things to watch on YouTube nowadays is the videos about this rule, man. Every Deep Rock player that respect themselves follow this commandment with no doubt. Like people giving their everything to save the mass gunner who only know how to shoot but do not know how to parkour warms up my heart, giving me hope to the gamer community once again. So yes, the community in Deep Rock Galactic is rich of friendship and rock and stone. And do you know what else is full of rock and stone? The soundtrack, brother. And props to Soulful's Alfie Arkbach Larsen, I don't know how to pronounce his name, who did an amazing job composing it. Like every single track makes its job of expressing a feeling of a galactic planet with dangerous creatures and thriller moments where you are not sure of what is about to come. And when it comes, the aggressive songs by itself perfectly express the amount of enemies on the screen without feeling generical to any other wave-based game. It feels unique enough for you to realize how inspired was Soulful when he created these tracks. And I love the choice of instrument he used to describe this whole galactic dwarf expedition. Synthesizers as the lead to build the unknown galactic ambience, and I also noticed a lot of pauses in many of the soundtracks to create thriller and build up the chorus, while it keeps including a lot of other synthesizers to make the soundtrack richer. And by far, my favorite song is Run, as it keeps playing the same verse for seconds until it bursts into a harmony of the drum playing, giving you adrenaline, hype, and an insane wish to rock and stone, brother. And I must say that overall, this game promises to keep growing even more as every new season passes. They add new missions to the game, making it even richer in content, and I think that now is the best time for you to play it because season 5 is right at the door and it promises to be amazing, minor. So with all of that being said, I'll tell you something, minor. I hope to see you in our company soon so we can finally drink some beers, kill a lot of bugs, and fucking rock and stone. Now if you want more videos like this, watch this one about Risk of Rain 2. Thank you all for watching, and until someday.